Good morning, Allie Nichols. How are you? It's not letting me share from my business page. This is so strange. I don't know. I can't figure out YouTube. I mean Facebook. Maybe I'm in jail and I don't know it. Oh gosh, why is the share button not working? The like button's not working. Nothing's working. Maybe let me close Facebook altogether. Oops. Just shut off the music by accident. 1 second. Sorry, guys. Just closed too many windows too fast. Let's go back and start again. Good morning. Let's start again. Okay. Let me open this. Sometimes we just need a fresh... there we go. Sometimes we just need a fresh start. Give me one moment while I cancel. Oh my god. Okay. Copy. Give me one moment while I share out to groups. Good morning, Karen. How are you? I'm just creating my little share here to share out to groups. So there goes to my news feed. Post. Oh, it's early. I've been up since... What time did I get up? Like 5:45 this morning? I should be awake more. I should be better at this. Should. I shouldn't should on myself. I was taught that by a teacher of mine. A wonderful woman named Judy Turgis. And she was at my school in San Francisco called Psychic Horizons. And she said, never should on yourself. Should generally tends to be other people's information. Is it really yours? Can you be kind enough to yourself and give yourself a break? And allow yourself to either make mistakes or have compassion for yourself in the present moment as you are. I like that idea. I mean, I've added some of that, but I think that's sort of the gist of what Judy was trying to teach us. And it's what I work on daily. When I'm trying to hurry or rush and I get caught up and I'm not in the present moment, I start making mistakes. So, just give me one moment. If you guys could please share out, I'd greatly appreciate it. Anywhere you feel it could be utilized or would be appreciated, I would appreciate that. It helps me to get the word out and promote the page. You can also follow me on Instagram at Engelgeist333 or on YouTube from the Engelgeist links. And if you don't share it out, that's fine. Just enjoy the fireplace for a moment while I share stuff out really quick. Warm yourself by the fire on this winter morn or this fall, chilly fall morning. Imagine the heat from that fireplace just, bathing you in warmth and love. And imagine my dog licking underneath the desk. That sound is my dog just licking your ankles, cleansing your ankles. She is such a mess. She's totally right underneath me. I love her though. Wouldn't have it any other way. But if you can hear that, that's what that sound is. It's not like I'm cleaning myself or anything to get prepared to come on camera. It's my dog. If I knew how to clean myself, I probably wouldn't be on camera. I'd be busy right now. Dirty birdie. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Last night's charming went well. I had fun. I was up this morning doing homework just to give you guys a little bit of an insight into what I was doing this morning. I was paying bills, and then I was doing a little bit of research because I told you guys a while back that I brought home some new charms for the charm box, and they've been sitting on my desk because I wanted to do a little bit of a sort of a charm haul video for them to show you guys introduce you guys to the new charms that will be going into the box. And I'm excited about these charms because they're super sort of like, they're more in spiritual in nature, so I think that they're going to open up different meanings in charm readings. Some of them might take me places that I'm a little bit afraid of. Not afraid of, but like, you know, there's some interesting symbols and stuff that I've picked up while I was away at Omega. So I'm going to add these in and we'll see what these symbols bring into new charmings, right? But I wanted to shoot this charm video to sort of introduce you guys to these charms and give you a little background on who these charms are, what they represent, you know, how they could impact charm readings, that sort of thing. And so I also see them as also not only having an impact spiritually, but they also might be helpful with some of the past life charmings that have been really popular of recent, because there's some charms in here that are definitely based in Hinduism and in Buddhism. So, sorry about my hair, excuse my hair. They bring about a different feel. So when they come out in, say, like a past life, it might take us to places like, say, India or Tibet versus, you know, there's like, I'm looking for more, not, well, I guess ethnic charms, cultural charms. Like thinking, I have the matador jacket in there, which I love. It's this little matador jacket that I got in Mexico, and it represents bravery. But I would love to get like a little sombrero, you know, to represent Mexico. So like if the matador jacket could be Spain and the sombrero could be Mexico, I would like to get a little pagoda for Japan, so that when we do past life charmings, we might be able to sort of even, you know, find places in our past lives where we were incarnated through the charms, like specific information. So some of these charms, which I'm going to try and shoot this charm haul video today, I'll introduce you to these charms, why I brought them in. A, mainly because they're spiritual charms, but B, also because they also represent different cultures and different spiritual faiths. So I think that that's important because it will sort of help us to open up to other cultures and faiths in, say, past life charmings and stuff like that. Does that make sense? I think it does, and I think that you guys will enjoy it, and you'll get to learn a little bit. It'll be a little bit of a learning experience for both of us, both the viewers and myself, because some of these charms I had to actually look up, you know, sort of a little bit more information around them, because I want to be knowledgeable on them too, so that when I'm pulling them out of the charm box, I kind of have a general idea of what they represent, because each time a charm comes out, depending on where it's laying and what it's laying next to and what type of charming I'm doing, the charm could mean something completely different, right? But if we're doing a past life charming and a couple of the Buddhist symbols come out of the box and land on the board, then, you know, if intuition is telling me, or my guides are telling me that, you know, this was maybe a lifetime in Tibet or a lifetime in a monastery, you know, those things are available to us. Those options are available to us. Does that make sense? I think it does. I'm just going to stop saying, does that make sense? Good morning, Jackie. Good morning, Jeanette, Jordan Renee. Welcome to the morning broadcast. I'm glad you're here. My name is Dan Geist. This is Engelgeist, and this is my morning energetic forecast and tarot read for the day for the collective. I intend to pull a couple of cards and a grounding stone to guide us through today's energy. Right? It's sort of like your spiritual weather report. I am your forecaster, right? So we're going to look at some cards today. We have 2 new decks from the deck contest, or the deck voting that we had. Now, I don't really like calling it a contest because all the decks were super worthy and they're all beautiful decks, and I'm kind of upset that I can't use all 4, but I'm going to end up eventually using all 4. All of them have unboxing videos on the channel if you're interested in that, and at the end of each video, each daily forecast, I'm going to put one of the unboxings for each of these decks. Like on yesterday's forecast, both video unboxings for both decks are on there. but I'm going to alternate the unboxing videos up in the upper corner of this side of the screen. No, this side of the screen, right? That will be where the unboxing is. There will always be a charming video down here to introduce you to my charming videos. Up here will be the unboxing of one of the decks we're using, so it has relevance to what we're doing. Up in this corner, look, I'm like Lady Gaga, Little Monster. Up in this corner will be the weekly forecast, right? The underpinning energy that we do on Sundays. And down, oh sorry, wrong arm. Down in this corner is going to be the subscribe button, okay? So you hit that button at the end of the video to subscribe to the channel if you enjoy it. So there you go. So that's going to be stuff that I'm working on and doing today. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to start, let me put up the wood block for the card holder. I'm also going to try and do some unboxings now that we're in November. There's some decks I really want to get unboxed, and I was talking to Ducky last night about some stuff. And so I have some decks here that I need to unbox to do a pick a card. I have a new idea for a pick a card. I know I need to do part 3 of the trilogy, and I will do that. But I have some decks here that are specific to healing. And I think that it's time. This morning I woke up and I was definitely aware that we need to do a pick a card around what do you need to heal right now, or what do you need to like focus on to institute or instigate or start the healing process. I think that there's a few people in the room, myself included. I'm always pursuing my own healing. I mean, my shirt here says Sana Sana Kalita de Rana, which is a Mexican phrase that mothers sing to their children. It means heal, heal, little frog. I see myself as the little frog. And so they sing this when their babies get a boo-boo, basically. And so I wear this, you know, with pride because I am a little Kalita de Rana. I want to heal my little boutte. But so I think that's going to be the next pick a card, and I need to unbox a couple of decks for that. I have the self-care cards, the power of surrender cards, and a couple of other energy decks that I want to get unboxed and videoed up so that I can unlock those and use them. Not unlock them, but once their videos are up, then I can use them in a pick a card and do a pick a card for you guys around healing whatever may be ailing you. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I'm pretty sure that it does. If it doesn't, wait for the pick a card and then you can let me know whether or not it resonated or it did you any service. I just feel like it's time. There's some stuff that needs to happen. So, with that being said, let's get to the forecast. Those of you that are with me and know me, we do 3 breaths in the morning, so you guys can join me in that. Those of you that are new, hey, Sarfaraz Said, how are you? Oh, is that Surfy? I think that's Surfy over there. Good morning. What time is it in Dubai? Welcome to, thank you for joining us for the morning. It must be nighttime there, because last night it was like 5:30 a.m. your time, so you must be ending your day now. It must be late night. So in the mornings, what we do here is hey, good morning, Kristen Ravello. In the mornings, what we do is we take 3 deep breaths, and this is to center ourselves. And you can do this even though it's evening in Dubai, because this would be a nice practice for you to do before going to bed. It's also a great practice to do upon waking up. But we take a deep breath in through the nose, down into the belly, and we hold that breath, and we allow, the intention is to have the oxygen permeate our bloodstream and our brain, right? Bringing us into the present moment, bringing the focus onto our body. And as we hold that breath, we start to emanate a light. We can emanate that light from wherever in our body we feel comfortable. I generally emanate it from here, because this is the heart chakra. But you can emanate it from wherever your body or your spirit feels comfortable. It might want to emanate from somewhere different to draw your attention there, you know? But that's information for you to gather during this exercise, right? You can share that information in the Engelgeist group, and we can give insight or, you know, our opinions on it if you have questions about it. If any of you ever have questions, you can also email me directly at the business page, and I can sort of help you. I am no authority by any means, but I can tell you what maybe my intuition might say about something. If you're like, well, my light emanates from my knee. You know, I don't know. but that might be your, and I'm using this just as an example. If your light emanates from there, maybe your spirit is trying to call your attention to something in that area, or maybe you have some energy that's stuck in that area, and that's where that healing needs to sort of start or take place. So it originates from there. It may originate right from here, where it's supposed to, but you can also watch where that light goes throughout your body. And if you're not a very visual person, that's okay. You can just sort of feel it, you can sense it, you can see it. It's all different ways of processing the information, right? And none of it is more right than the other way, right? If you see it, it doesn't make it any stronger than if you just sense it and feel it, right? But you can ask yourself, where is my light going? Is my light just evenly spreading out? Or is my light fearful of spreading out? Do I feel comfortable spreading out my light? Do I feel safe with my light being open and out in my body? These are all questions you would want to be asking yourself during this practice if you're doing this practice outside of the morning forecast or even during the morning forecast. We move through it quickly though to kind of keep these videos short. So as we emanate that light, we want to release the breath fully. When I say release the breath, and the intention is also that we're releasing any old, stale, or outdated energy out of our system, out of our body, out of our physical space, our energetic space, our spiritual space, our mental space. We're just letting it go. And with each breath, if I haven't given you enough, I'm going to give you a few more things to think about. With each breath, first breath, we want to thank the body, right? And be in gratitude for the body. With the second breath, we want to thank the mind. And with the third breath, we want to thank the spirit. Okay? And those are just the three different vibrations that make up who we are in totality on the three-dimensional plane, right? So we want to kind of, the intention is to be in gratitude for them. Can you, not do this right now underneath the desk, please? She's got her paws on me licking, rolling around licking all over my feet. It's driving me nuts. Anyways, we're trying to balance those three and bring them together in harmony, like the Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, the mind, the body, the spirit, and bring it into that sort of triangular shape of where they're all three in line with one another, equal to one another, in gratitude to one another, and sort of supporting each other. Okay? You can adjust that triangle if you can visually see it, and put whichever component you want on top, supported by the other two, right? I shift mine because I'm getting ready to read you guys some cards, so I want my spirit up on top, supported by the mind and the body at the bottom. But there might be times when I'm problem solving and I'll want to switch that to put the mind at the top and then be supported by the body and the spirit. Or maybe I'm out doing something physical and I want to give my body a workout or focus, right? So I'll switch the body to the top of the pyramid and be supported by the mind and the spirit, right? Just a little practice you can do, a little mental practice, little visual. Also, during all of this, if you want to line up your chakras, go right at it. Like I said, when I get back from Virginia Beach in mid-November, I might start a little side class on this. So keep it, if you're interested in any of that, message me at the business page and we can talk a little bit more about this in depth and do it aside from the daily forecast. So let's get started now. If you'll put your feet flat on the ground wherever you are, get comfortable in your chair. Try and bring your attention back to yourself. Sometimes touching yourself helps. I put my hands either on my hips and sort of rub my hips a little bit, or my thighs, or I rub my chest, just to kind of bring myself right here in this moment. And let's close our eyes and take in that first breath, inhaling fresh, positive energy. That's the intention, deep into the belly. And let's hold and just allow that light to open up and spread out. And it will go where it needs to go. And release. Giving gratitude to the body, thanking it for the body that it is, in the state that it is in this present moment, giving it love without any judgment or criticism. Let's take in that second breath and hold. Emanate that light some more. You can line up your chakras if you'd like, set them for optimum spin for today. and release. Feel that energy lightening, being thankful to the mind for all that it does for us. You know, bringing it into alignment with the body, with the chakras. Just intending for that is powerful stuff. Let's take in that third breath deep into the belly. And hold. Emanate that light. Finish up with your chakras. Set them at optimum. And release. Thanking the spirit. Let all of that air go. You can adjust your triangle to what feels appropriate to you. Just seeing all three components connected to one another and in support and gratitude of each other. Doesn't it feel nice? You can open your eyes, guys. So welcome to the second Saturday, the 2nd of November. Let's get into the cards real quick. So the new deck that we're working with, the two new decks that we're working with, the first one is a tarot deck called The Naked Heart by Jillian C. Wilde. You can follow her on Instagram at Jillian, JILLIANCWILDE, Wilde. She's a tarot deck artist and author, and this deck is really beautiful and very amazing. She actually has a new deck out, but you can follow her there. I purchased this deck on Amazon. So it is sort of at mass retailers. You can get it in bigger retailer stores. If you look at the unboxing video that I did of this deck, it'll give you a little bit of familiarity to it and my opinions on it. But also in the description, it'll give you the links as to where to buy it if you are shopping on Amazon for it, okay? And give her a follow. If you're interested, if you're on Instagram, give me a follow if you're on Instagram at Engelgeist333. And you can share this out, please. I know I've asked once, but I'm going to ask again. So, Spirit, please give us a card that best represents for today, Saturday, the 2nd of November, 2019, for both those that are watching right now and those that may tune in at any time in the future. What do we need to know? What is the information that is for our time to give today? Okay, that was a little loud. Wow, interesting. I'm going to switch the camera around really quick. So today is the 8 of Swords. Let me look at the chat. One moment. Alright, so today is the 8 of Swords. The first thing that I think of is it's interesting to me that yesterday we had the 5 of Swords, right? And we had this sort of, I don't know what it is about these Swords cards. Like I said, I've just started working with this deck as of yesterday. But these Swords cards to me feel a little bit on the defensive side today. Or yesterday they felt a little bit defensive. They feel a little bit sort of, not necessarily at odds, but like that we need to sort of keep ourselves secure is the best way to describe it. To me, again, I feel a lot of protection happening here. Not only in these thorns that I see around this rose, there's also thorns here in front of the rose. I don't know how much detail you guys can see via the camera. But what I do like is that we have all of these swords planted here, almost like a fence around this rose. And I feel like we are represented as the rose today, right? There's a beauty, a capability, a delicateness to us, a sacredness to us that we need to honor and sort of protect today. And I'm not saying that that means that anything negative is going to happen to us today, but this feels to me like it's a reminder that we need to remember who we are and the beauty that we are, the sort of strength in our fragility even, right? Because a rose is a delicate flower in a sense, but it is protected by thorns, right? You can't just reach out and snatch a rose and pull it off the branch that easily without getting yourself hurt. And so I'm not saying we need to either go out and sting anybody with our thorns either. But what I mean is that there is a, I feel like this card is what it's making me feel intuitively is that we want to honor our true nature, our more delicate self, our more vulnerable, authentic self, the side of ourself that we maybe sort of guard or hide. Bringing that beauty forward, bringing that authenticity forward, and sharing that with the world in a way where we feel protected, but we also acknowledge that part of ourselves. This being a swords card is and the element of air, which is the intellect, right? So I feel like this is about acknowledging that spiritual beauty and spiritual, not only spiritual, right? Because the rose also has a very spiritual connotation. That's why Mother Mary is always pictured with roses at her feet and things like that. The rose is a very spiritual flower, I believe. But it's also a very sort of on a earthly basis, right? Or a more material world outlook. The rose is also very beautiful, and it's a famous sort of universal flower, an all-time sort of favorite of most, right? And so to me, this feels like at a mental level, why this card is showing up today is it's reminding us to, from a mind level, maybe honor our spiritual and physical selves for the beauty that they are and use our mind to sort of be more in protection of that than maybe at odds with that, right? And that's what these swords here feel like to me. It almost feels like our mind building a fence around ourselves or a protection around ourselves. Not that we need to protect ourselves per se, but it's like that energy of the mind no longer maybe being in criticism of our spiritual self or our physical self, right? Because when I'm looking at this rose, I'm thinking of the spirituality of the rose and also the physical beauty of the rose. So I feel like this is the coming together of the three elements, like we were just talking about in the triangle meditation, right? In the three breaths, is that um, we want to sort of line those three components of ourselves up for like optimum healing, optimum support, optimum gratitude, optimum ease of just existence and who we are in our skin, right? So today, to me, this card is calling out and saying, allow your mind to sort of be the safe haven for your spirit and your body to reside today. Have them work in conjunction. And from this rose, right, there's growth because it is a plant, so it makes me think of growth, not only like physical growth, but spiritual growth too. And these vines, these sort of thorns and vines back here, sort of remind me that they're sort of growing up, growing higher, growing larger, growing better, like healing and having growth, right? So when we do this, when we partake in this activity, or we look at this card from this from this perspective today, if we're more mindful of where our mind is at, how our mind is harboring our spiritual self and our physical self, are we building a solid foundation? Are we building a beautiful fence mentally around ourselves? Not to close ourselves in, but just to honor ourselves for who we are, what we are, the delicacy that we are, the beautifulness that we are, the growth that we've done to get us or get ourselves to this point, like acknowledging that, and also there's a strength to the mind here too, with these swords being sort of planted and downward, like into the to me it feels like they're going into the earth, like affirming who they are, what they know, and honoring that. Now, I don't know, let me just look at the book really quick because I haven't really referenced the book. And I don't want to butcher Jillian's work because her cards and her book is really beautifully written. But that's just my interpretation of this card and where my intuition is taking me with this card today. So let's just look it up really quick, the Eight of Swords, and see what she sort of suggests. Because she wrote this book while ill and while healing, and I mean not wrote this book, but created this deck, which I think is amazing. So I feel like this is sort of like a coming together and a healing like of the mind sort of stepping to the forefront and protecting the spirit and the physical body, the embodiment of our spirit and our physical body, and also the strength of our mind to honoring that. So that this says self-doubt, constraint, and release is her 3 words for it. And then it says, as I tune into my words, I hear my thoughts. As I start to connect to the thoughts, I can slowly start to see the patterns they create and where my self-doubt is rising from. As I come to realize they are only thoughts and patterns of thoughts are not truths, I can start to release their power. I choose to strengthen the thoughts that empower me and release the constraints from the ones that no longer serve me. Healing the core beliefs behind the doubt will start to generate new thought patterns and new behaviors will follow. As the energy starts to shift, my personal power will cultivate. My present and future will thank me as I continue to rise and bloom. So I feel like that is a beautiful way of describing this card, and I feel like I was saying that a little bit to a degree because I feel like this is our mental self gathering around our spiritual and physical manifestation of self and sort of protecting it and honoring it for the beauty that it is, and also honoring our mental self for the strength that it provides by creating this sort of almost fence of swords that are planted firmly in the ground and grounded in the present moment and aware of the beauty that exists within us both spiritually, physically, and even mentally, okay? So I feel like even though this says self-doubt, I feel like it's the releasing of self-doubt and the strengthening of that, right? So I'm going to move on to the next card. Give me one moment. I hope that makes sense, guys. Good morning, Jen Nichols. How are you? It is a beautiful card, isn't it? I love it. The next deck that I'm working with is this, the highest placed oracle deck in our vote, right? And this is called, oh, I don't want to mess this up because her Instagram tag is similar but different. This is the Roots and Wings Oracle deck, right? And I bought this on Etsy. And it's by Kat Riles, Katryalls. And again, if you want to look at yesterday's video, both unboxings are at the end of the video. There's links to both unboxings. But I decided I liked working with 2 cards at a time, and so I want to add an oracle card to this to further build on this information for today. So I decided to take the top oracle deck and the top tarot deck and work with them together through the month of November. Kat Riles can be found on Instagram and followed at River and Roots. That's where she is. She is an artist and produces artwork and other decks, I believe also. I follow her. But her last name is spelled Ryalls, but her Instagram tag is River and Roots. And this is called the Roots and Wings Oracle deck that we're working with. So let's see what this deck has to say for us today to add to this sort of Eight of Swords, which to me really feels like our mind, being very conscious of our mind, our thoughts, and allowing that to build around us that sort of positive protective barrier of thought that allows us to grow like this rose. Ooh, I'm feeling something on my crown. Ah! All right, let's get into this forecast today, guys. We've got abundance, and I love... Oh, I love the correlation in the art, because I'm just going to say right out of the gate, like I'm talking about the mind and building this fence around the rose, and then this abundance card has all of these flowers just sort of coming right out of the mind, right? Right out of the head, out of the top of the brain, right out of the crown chakra, out of the knowing. And so to me, this feels like very much in line with what I was just saying with this card. It's like as we build these thoughts and as we build these like beliefs in ourselves and we acknowledge who we are for our beauty, even in our fragility, like, and I've said this before, warts and all, thorns and all, right? When we acknowledge that and we allow that to sort of be okay in present moment and we protect that, and instead of judging it, we allow it we see it for the beauty that it is, abundance can come forth, and so many more flowers can like pour forth and grow out of our mind, right? It's like our thoughts can be these beautiful flowers of abundance, and we can carry them with us through our day, and see like not only our own beauty but the beauty in others and the beauty in life, and our whole relationship can change to um, how we relate to not only ourselves but to the world around us, guys. And I love this green backdrop. It makes me think of healing, right? Green is a very healing color to me. And so I feel like there is a definite healing that takes place if we hold ourselves in this space today of really looking at our thoughts, like Jillian says in her deck. Look at your thoughts and look at your where are you judging yourself today? I mean, I'm just as guilty of it. Like, I started the video today saying I should, and I had to remind myself, like, no, stop that, you know? So it's like, do we build that strength around us and acknowledge our brain for the strong tool that it is and allow it to sort of work from a place of protection and upliftment and create this abundance, right? That can grow from our mind and our thoughts and create all of this sort of beauty around us. This to me almost looks like the aura of this person, right? And their thoughts are in such positivity and abundance. They're focused on abundance. So all of a sudden this beautiful color, floral growth, just kind of, is all around them, and sort of they shine that, and people are attracted to that, and that brings about more abundance, right? And more opportunities out in the world. So to me, I feel like these cards definitely correlate, and I think that it's a beautiful correlation. I'm going to go to the grounding stone really quick. Now, for those of you that are new, this grounding stone is just a stone that is a thought or a principle that we want to ground in today that kind of also gives us further insight into what is going on today. So here we go. This is our last grounding stone for the week, and then I'll put all of the previous grounding stones back into the bag for next week's broadcast. But the stone this morning is, are you going to stand up for me? Happiness. So to me, focusing on happiness today, focusing on what makes you happy, what puts positive thoughts in your mind, helps to make these sort of mental stakes in our garden stronger. And it allows our rose to bloom and grow. Even the thorns that we might see as like unattractive or whatever, if we find acceptance for them and we also like mentally sort of accept them and protect them too, we have this abundance that grows, this sort of happiness and abundance that we can put forth today. So I know this sounds a little corny, but go out into today. The forecast today is to be aware of your mental thoughts, support yourself from a mental thought space of happiness, right? Support your spiritual self, your physical self, and your mental self by really concentrating on the ideas of abundance, happiness, and what you can create with that, and what you sort of can heal with that. I think that there's a lot to be said for that today. I also think that if any of you have giant afro wigs, it's still really close to Halloween. I think today would be completely acceptable to put one on just to have a little happiness. That's my little drag queen take on this read. But I hope this makes sense to you guys. It is a really lovely reading, and it really is about loving on ourselves today and moving through the day with as much happiness and focus on abundance as possible, and know that we are strong, we are beautiful, we might be fragile and feel fragile, but we are protected, and even in our fragility there's a sense of strength and beauty to us that we should acknowledge on all levels, mental, physical, and spiritual. And as we do that, we bring about more happiness and we bring about more abundance, and it becomes sort of like a cyclical thing today. And it's a great exercise to work on and build for your day today, for this Saturday. Any thoughts? Any questions, class? Oh gosh, you're welcome, Jamie. You're very welcome. Hi, Carla. Good morning. So I hope that makes sense. Good morning, Kelly Kemp. So I hope that that makes sense. I hope that sends you guys out into the day with a little bit of positivity, and I think that you guys have the opportunity to do some kind of wonderful things with your thought processes today around who you are and who you think you are, and what you can create with that. And so, see, Kelly Kemp is saying perfect in every way with all the flowers. She's already blooming already. Look at her growing in her mental garden. You're welcome, Allie. You're welcome. Have a great day, you guys. I hope that you enjoy it. I am going to shoot this charm haul video today. Keep on the lookout for that if you are interested in that. And then I'm going to try and do a couple of unboxings over the next few days to get these things together, because we need to do a pick a card around healing. I feel like the group needs that right now, and I want to get that out. And I have a couple of very specific decks that I want to unbox to get into that pick a card. So the sets for the pick a cards might be a little bit barren. Don't judge me, but it's more about getting the pick a cards unboxed, getting the card decks unboxed and on video, so that I can then use them in the pick a card. Okay, so I might not have elaborate sets for these guys, but I will have. I want to do the videos. What, the one you said changed your life that you read in high school? Hey, Sherilyn. Good morning, Sherilyn Rockefeller. Can you say the name of that book you mentioned last night again, please? Oh, Living in the Light by Shakti Gawain. Hold on. Let me see if I can find a link to it. Let me see. Where's my, can I go here? I don't even know if she is around anymore. Here it is on Amazon. Let me see, how do I find the link for this shit? Oh, here we go. This is gonna be a long ass link. Uh-oh, did I just lose you guys? No. This is gonna be a long link. I don't know if how this will go in there, but you could try this link and see. That should take you to it on Amazon. I'm digging the decks too, and I like how they're correlating. They're tying together really interestingly. They're both by feminine artists, which I think are female artists, which I think are great. I need to start tagging these women so that they know that I'm using their decks, but I'm a little bit, what was I going to say? I'm a little bit nervous about doing that, only because I don't use their books. And Jillian's book, she really has put a lot of thought into it, and I sort of read more intuitively with just the cards and what they stir up in here, like from back here. So I do acknowledge Jillian's work. I think it's beautiful, and I need to tag her and let her know I'm using the decks and see what happens. She's got a new deck out too that looks amazing. Yeah, so I'm excited about how these decks are working together. I'm also, the other two decks, guys, that were in the running for these votes are beautiful. Song of My Heart is amazing. She's actually sending me a supplement pack of cards that belong to it, and I know you guys would love this deck. It's all about sort of female healing and empowerment. And then the Rust Belt Arcana, which is by the only actually male artist that I included. The guy is talented. His name is Matt. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna mess this up. What is it? No. One of them is Stansberry, and where's the deck now? I don't want to mess it up because I follow him on. Here it is. I follow him on under Downpour. David Wilson. And he's a comic book artist, and he does different types of art, and he's really talented. You can follow him at DW Downpour, because he's Downpour Studios is the name of his art studio. And he found me on YouTube and sent me a message saying that he loved the unboxing, and he's sending me a package of prints from this deck. So we're gonna use this deck at some point. It's a really, really beautiful deck, and so and Song of My Heart we will use too. But right now I'm digging these, and I hope you guys are enjoying them too. Good morning, Amanda. We've just sort of wrapped the um, the forecast, but please rewatch it in replay. It's a good one today, I think, and it's kind of cool how it came together. And I think that it's a really good message and a great grounding stone to be in today, this Saturday. Be easy on yourselves, guys. Enjoy your Saturday, and love yourself. Love yourself in whatever form that may take. You know, don't worry about it. What else do I want to say? Yeah, so I got a lot of stuff I need to do. I need to do these unboxings. I also, Karen sent me the Sensual Wicca Tarot, which I have not unwrapped yet, and I'm dying to get into those. She sent me two different sort of like sexy tarot decks, and I want to do a pick a card with those, but that's going to be a little raunchy. But it'll be fun. It'll be fun, fun, fun. So there's some stuff I've got planned. I've just been busy. So, you guys have a good day. Enjoy the day. Go into it with the focus being on abundance and happiness and your own beauty and on all levels, mental, spiritual, physical. All right? And I will talk to you guys later. All right? Have a good day. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for everybody that came to the Charming last night. Those of you that didn't, it was a great time. You can always rewatch the Charming videos, see what those are about. And yeah, woot woot, Karen. I know. Trust me. I want to get these done. I just got busy with traveling, and I'm gonna get busy with traveling again. And I have a lot of decks I need to get unboxed. Just stuff that I bought, stuff that you and Jen Nichols have gotten me, and I need to get that stuff out. All right, you guys, have a great day. I'm gonna go. I will talk to you later. All right, bye bye. See you in the morning. Tomorrow. Bye.